Hey there, friendlies. How's up? I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. And I hope everybody's week started off great. Excuse me while I go mute my YouTube page and skip this freaking ad. Starting with an ad is not my favorite way to do this, but hey, whatevs. All right. There we go. Oh my God. There we go. This app keeps showing me little pop-ups every time to onboard me, and I'm like, I know how it's used, dude. Piss off. So yeah, where was I? Yes. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, I'm trying to move over. 21st of July. Having a big week so far. At the day job, I'm testing a new video editing solution, and it is intellectually exhausting. And supper, bedtime, all that. But I'm here now, and we're going to do nothing but yap for the rest of the 2 hours until 11 o'clock, and then I'm just going to go the hell to bed. Two first people to pop in and say hi were Country Boy and Paul, who are both channel heroes, and Country Boy is also a channel mod. I'm trying to get my damned chat to show up. Come on, foo. There we go. There we go. And I was getting some stuff out of my work bag here, so that I don't, just because you just got to take stuff out of your bag sometimes. And then just sort of put it down. Take it out, put it down. It's like taking some things and putting them on top of other things. I'm very good at that. They don't always go in the place they're supposed to go, but I'm very good at taking things and putting them on top of other things. Gonna drink some water now. And then I'm gonna do the housekeeping. That's the part where I say, if you're watching as time shifted, I love it when people do that. I love knowing that you're there, that you're watching the stuff, and that you may drop a comment down below there, because it is too late to drop a comment right there. I just sort of tapped the mic. Sorry about that. Oh, I forgot to dust off my mic this time. Sorry, guys. I ran down here and set up in a massive hurry because, life. So who's kicking back with us, aside from Country Boy and Paul popping in right up at the start? Country Boy. Still working on trying to open all those samples. So here's what. Do I tell them, boys? Do I say? Yeah. Country Boy and Paul and I did a video call last night. Paul and I had sent Country Boy a couple of bottles and Paul sent him a bunch of samples as well. And so what we opened last night will be my whiskey for tonight. I'm going to show it off here. Oops. I'm going to almost knock it over. Come on, fool. There we go. So it's a wheated rye whiskey from Sons of Vancouver, who are in Vancouver. 50% alcohol by volume. It doesn't say on the bottle, but apparently it's an integrity bottling, so like no chill filtering, no coloration. Barrel types are ex-bourbon and New American Oak. New American Oak is going to bring some. It's going to bring out some teeth. And it's got a mash bill because this is kind of made sort of. Not really. It's not really made in the bourbon way, but anyways, it's 75% rye and 25% wheat. Maturation of 3 to 5 years in a column still. I'm just taking a look. Like if it says anywhere about the chill filtration or anything. Anyways, terrific bottle, especially if you like rye, but it's a wheated rye. So it's got a nice sort of mildness and a sweetness and kind of a creepy, not a creepiness, creaminess that sort of comes in from the bottom. There's Country Boy saying hi to me. Russell pops in with the sweet smell of decay. Okay. All right. You could just take a shower, dude. Oh, and there's Mr. Peanut Trucker. Oh, I have an ad. I gotta get comfy here, people. I have an ad. It's a skippable. Destiny also has an ad. Hi, Destiny. Hold on. Let me just catch up. Christy saying hi. I'm saying hi back. Christy, how are you doing tonight? And Christy Grounds, by the way, is a channel hero. So where are you tonight, Mr. Peanut Trucker? Mr. Chris? Mr. Mod, by the way, everyone? He's a mod. We are the mods. We are the mods. We are the mods. Everyone's just sort of saying hi. Now, I am hoping that Mr. Tenenbaum will be here tonight so I can discuss. Yeah, I'm having a rough week, dude. I'm really having a rough week. I'm having like an intellectually exhausting time of it at work right now, and I'm single dadding for the moment, and my wife isn't even away. It's just she probably won't be back until I'm about to finish this live stream tonight, and it's just running around like a fart in a windstorm here. It kind of leaves me feeling a little done like dinner. It was Taco Tuesday. I made tacos. Clem decided she wanted a hot dog. Anyway. Hi, Destiny. How you doing? Lumberjack sandwich charcuterie. I want to know all about that. And there's Mr. Hag with Mike. How are you doing? How's Florida? Not quite as hot as usual on this day, but I did want to bring up. I want to see if we still have that warning in effect. Okay, so the squall warning is gone, but we have a possibility of storms very soon. So if I suddenly disappear, it's not because you pissed me off and I'm like, I'm out of here. It's because the power went out. Yeah, and it's going to rain for the rest of the night. And tomorrow. Okay. But it's not like 30 degrees anymore. So I'm, good with the bad, right? I like rain anyway. Saying hi to everybody. I'm just sort of trying to get by all the like hellos so that I see if I'm missing anyone. Oh, now there's an important question asked by Destiny. Christy, have you recovered from Mom's birthday party? The food looked great. That seemed to be a big. Hold on a second. I'm trying to move over because you guys told me to. But what I should have done, flying by the seat of my pants here, people, is that. There we go. That's not awkward looking at all. Actually, it is better because that's got all its space. So it's good. Ignore the mess behind me. I have not had time to breathe, let alone clean my damn desk. You're in St. Louis, Missouri. Not St. Louis, Missouri, right? That doesn't sound right. St. Louis? Well, shucks. I just don't know. Yes, Christy says, yes, my aunt and uncle left Sunday, so house is back to normal. I like having a gathering at my house, but there's a certain calm that comes down over the place when the last guest leaves, and you can sort of, oh, who's having a beer to start with? This is a Russe made in Joliette, Quebec. Is there an English side on this? Nope. Like I keep thinking that a Russe, I keep calling it a red ale, but it's kind of an amber-ish color. Like I wonder if a Russe is actually a brown ale. It's so easy to find that out living in this province, but I just never bothered. Okay, this is the one that isn't peeling. It's the one I rarely use. Oops, sorry. Let's. The final countdown. Paul probably knows. He's probably typing a correction. There we go. I do like a nice brown or rose. It is tasty. I've had that one before. Do you guys remember how many of you OGs were here when I first started doing the beer blades and bushcraft live stream? And every week I tried to have a beer with you guys that I'd never had before. Do you remember those days? It got a lot harder to find, and then I stopped having the beer because it was kind of too much booze, and I don't know why I've sort of gone back to it. I don't need the beer very much, especially because I've got tea. I'm so tired. I'll try to keep the energy up though. But you guys, I'm going to be depending on you folk. I'm going to sneeze. Nope, will not do it. I refuse. Hey, Mister, how you doing? How's Mr. Mark tonight? How's the weather down there? Everyone's saying hi. Up. And I'm not the only one asking Mark about the weather. It looked rough earlier. Oh, stormy down there? So Russell had some stormage going on, or at least heavy rain. I don't know. Russell, start again. Russell, were you under like wicked storms, or was it just a crap ton of rain? Oof, there were some tornado warnings. We don't want no tornadoes. Jesus, there's gonna be 115 degrees freedom this week. That is gross, but it's a dry heat. They were calling for 5 millimeters of rain today. We got probably 40 or 50 mils. It was something. Lightning and thunder gods were everywhere. Yeah, okay. So that answers my question. Oh, but where Mark is, they didn't have much of anything. Okay. I was sure we were going to get much more rain than we did. When I left the office, it was starting to rain. I mean, but yeah, we're getting. So moderate rain for the next half hour. But I'm looking for like the millimeters. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. If I suddenly disappear, you'll know that thunder and lightning very, very frightening. I told you guys about the last storm we had, where big peal of thunder, big flash, power went out, and I opened the door to take a look at the rain because I do like to, and there was this wicked smell of something burning, like really close. I didn't see anything though. So let's not hope for any of that kind of excitement tonight. Okay. Now, Russell, that does sound exactly like something I would say. In fact, you're probably taking things I've said and cobble them together. Country Boy is having an old Milwaukee. You'll share some of the bottle with at 10 with a drop of water. Yeah, okay. Country Boy would rather his fart was in a windstorm than the seat of his pants. This is not going to get old, is it, boys? Boys. Gross. Destiny. Regardless of age, never trust a fart. Yeah, Chris remembers the OG days. Oh. Now it's raining. Oh, now it's really raining. Like I can hear it. Anyway. Country Boy agrees with Destiny. Oh, you're in monsoon season. I didn't know you had a moonson, is what I was going to say, even though it's absolutely wrong. I didn't know that monsoon season was a thing in on the surface of the sun. Excuse me. I do not know what's going on with that conversation. Oh, I've caught up. That's cool. That's great. Any sign of Tenenbaum, or can someone text him? I'll text him. Hold on a sec. Oh, for God's sakes, I can't remember Tenenbaum's name on this app. Oh, now I do. I'll do it later. We'll see if he comes on. Hey, there's Mr. David the Instigator. You were dearly missed, mister. You were dearly, dearly missed. David is a channel mod. Oh, I forgot to mention that Mark is a channel here as well. Excuse me. Yeah. So I'm gonna spend a week in Alberta in August. As OGs around here will know that I do a very, very, very mini tour of Alberta with my band every August, anchored by the East Coast Kitchen Party, which goes on at the David Thompson Resort, which is on Abraham Lake, up in the Nordegg area ish. Hold on a second. No, I'm not going to go pinging Tenenbaum. Come on, man, get on the live stream so we can talk about your gift. Yeah, I'm gonna stop being a brat right now. So while I'm there, I'll probably pick up a bottle or two of whiskey. We're gonna spend some time in the mountains because that's where the festival is. And I'm looking forward to sort of getting away from it all for a week. What I used to do is bring my laptop, and on days when we weren't gigging, I would work. But last year, I just took the time off, took the whole week off. I said, nope, so that I wouldn't have to transport a corporate laptop across the country, and so that I could force myself to take some actual vacation time. And it was really nice. It was really nice. In previous years, when we've had more time, just due to scheduling, coming back from the gig out in the mountains, we would stop and do some hiking and stuff. Good times. But yeah, so I'll probably try to do my Tuesday night live stream from there again, as I've done in previous years. It's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, my fiddle player has kids now, so the time of night could be an issue. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hi, good. Mike says, "Is it me, or do things feel really weird these days?" I do not know how to answer that carefully. Many things feel like they are out of whack. Relationships that have felt rock solid for decades are afraid and tattered. Life is getting more expensive. And yeah. Oh, and I have hay fever, so it's really, you know. But the world is burning as well, right? I mean, you know, um, there we go. David and Russell back together at last. Hey, there's Grace. How you doing, Grace? How's the weather? How's the family? Oh my land, there's Zach Fudge. How are you tonight, Zach? You're having a busy summer. Got family visiting at different times. So is good busy, or is I never know what to. Oh, you've got family over. Yeah, I do. Or yeah, it's great. As I hope your busy summer is treating you right. Just sort of scrolling past everyone saying hello. Ooh, excuse me. Oh my land. Everyone's just saying hi. Chris is in St. Louis, St. Louis, Saint the Saint, Saint L, Saint Elmo's fire. Oh, stop it with the connections, brain. While I was off week for a month, that was a terrible sentence. While I was off work for a month, I was really pondering, like, if I had time to do a podcast, like a bushcraft podcast. Like, I wouldn't do a whiskey podcast. I mean, there's tons of them, and I don't like most of them. And like, I am shocked at how many podcasts seem to be made by people who think that if they're talking about something you're interested in, you'll just forgive shitty sound. And I don't. I don't want to hear, this echoey ass podcast where it sounds like you guys are talking into a laptop speaker in a bathroom, right? I don't want to listen to two people talking with wildly varying volumes, you know. Um, and I know that, like, unless you're someone like Paul Kirtley who has courses and stuff to give, and like there's sort of built-in podcast subjects there, A, in that you've always got something to talk about, but B, you have access to a lot of really illustrious people for interviews and stuff. Like, what do you think a bushcraft podcast would really entail? Not one that is feeding people to their survival school or something like that. Like, what would a bushcraft podcast look like to you guys? There's one that I kind of enjoyed, but it always went really long. Let me look it up. No, that's a D&D podcast. Ooh, did I say that out loud? The Canadian Bushcraft Podcast with Caleb Musgrave. I think his YouTube name, I think, is Canadian Bushcraft. But he hasn't put out an episode in some time, like since December 2023. And like, that's the thing. A lot of these people go at it for a while and then disappear. And then you've got like podcasts in other spaces, like 99% Invisible, or what's his name? Dan Snow's History Hit, stuff like that, where they've got crews to help them, right? And they can just go, like the one dude sitting at his desk trying to research and write and do a podcast. It seems like, unless you're kind of leisure class, it's hard to keep that going. which is why I haven't started one yet. I love podcasts. I loved it when I had a podcast. I've told you guys, I've always seen myself as a media guy, right? Um, but like, what would it look like? Because here's the thing: you do a political podcast, and you're guaranteed to make bank, But so many of them out there already, Like it would be nice to be able to sort of, or maybe not specifically bushcraft, maybe like just sort of a general bushcraft slash camping slash homesteading, maybe a little prepping, but I think that what was that National Geographic series, Doomsday Preppers? I think that really, really ruined the image of preppers in a lot of people's minds. But I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hold on. Let me just sort of scroll on back because I see that I've missed a few comments. I'm rolling on back. What's this? Paul said to Country Boy, make sure the last sample you have is Lafroig. You might hate me after that sample. I love it. Yeah, so Country Boy's going to put a big red dot on that one. Zach said, aunt and young cousins visited last week from Montreal. My other aunt and uncle visited from Nova Scotia with my cousin and his wife from New Brunswick. I've been to New Brunswick. Nice province. Destiny says, a bit cooler, high 20s rather than high 30s. Yep, that is a big improvement for sure. David says that Pam's sister is going to visit from Victoria in August, thinking of moving before she arrives. That's got to be a quotable quote. Christy asks an important question, actually. And I'm glad you asked that question, Christy, because I would really like to have guests on here again. I need to not be exhausted all the time so that I can put the effort in to do a good go of it, when my wife has finished the project she's currently working on, I might have some time to start working on that again, because I really liked doing the interviews. Those are my favorite podcasts. Live streams. That's I love doing it. And so yeah, I would like to. But I pinged one or two of the guys that you folks suggested, but of course they're such bigger channels than me that I never got replies, which is too bad. But it's not. I'm not angry about it. It's just you sort of get filtered out when you're this big and they're this big, So I can try again. It's just I don't want to call anyone and then not have the wherewithal or the time to make a good go of it, like have them come on, especially because anyone who comes on, I have to do like a short pre-live with them in the days leading up to make sure that the system works, because it is not as easy to have a guest on with this app as it was with the old one. Zach says, Saturday, my mom with my young half siblings get here for a fortnight, and my cousin in Arizona is showing up on the 2nd. Your social battery is going to suffer. Yeah, sure is. Zach, I would love to know your thoughts on Bethesda kind of losing control of their properties, like Fallout and Elder Scrolls at some point. how Microsoft is like, get your house in order. In the meantime, you know, what's it called? Obsidian is doing the next Fallout. Destiny's going to order some more of Peanut Trucker's books. I support you in that. Beto, hi. How you doing? I hope you're having a good night. I hope all is well. Scrolling. Scrolling. Beetle. Destiny's asking Beto if he's got any forest fires. If not, we can pass you a few hours. We can give you some. We got extra. A lot of rain down there. Okay. Yeah, I hope that this rain is going up north as well, because it would really stank if Montreal was getting inundated and like Quebec City got inundated, and up where the where the fires are, it was still tinder dry. Russell says that City Girl could do a podcast about anything and she'd be a joy to listen to. I might be biased. Yeah, she's got that kind of voice though, right? She's got that kind of voice that it's easy to listen to, like a real radio voice almost. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm in agreement with you. Oh, we've gone from 19 people watching to 16, so apparently I'm being boring. So I'll start telling jokes. I'm not really going to start telling jokes. Destiny thinks I'm a great interviewer. Listen and let the guests talk and just be themselves. I still want to slap those interviewers who interrupt the person being interviewed. So there's a reason for that. Well, I have a communications degree, but some of the greatest interviewers are ones who don't interject themselves very much. They ask a question and then they just let the guest talk, right? Because I'm with you. I hate listening to an interview where the interviewer keeps trying to become part of the narrative. There's a podcast called Tides of History. I started listening to that podcast back when it was called The Fall of the Roman Empire, and his name, it escapes me, but he was working on his PhD and on that time in history. And then when he sort of exhausted that subject, he moved on into sort of a more general history podcast. God, I sound like such a boring guy listening to history podcasts. But anyways, I can't listen to his interviews because I get the feeling that he wants to just have a conversation with these people, but that's not an interview. Have the conversation over beers after the interview, right? Let the guest carry the show. That's what your role is. That's what, when I was in school, it's like the best interviewers, the ones we studied, were the ones who did that. And there's a big name who was on American TV, like a CBS guy or something, like 30 years ago. One of the big dudes. Name escapes me, but he was so good because he did exactly that. Ask the guest a question and let them tell their tale. And then like move the conversation by knowing how to ask the right question rather than giving your opinion. Because I don't give a crap what the interviewer's opinion is, right? Or their philosophy, not their opinion. Because if a guest says something really gauche, then I find it refreshing when an interviewer is like, really? But I mean, I don't need to know what the interviewer's philosophy is if I'm listening to an interview. I want to listen. I want to listen to that person's philosophy when he's not doing an interview. Because a lot of these guys are interesting dudes, right? But yeah, so that's the way I sort of, and like whenever they say something and it does spark a response from me, I try to keep it brief because yeah, you may have a response, like something may spark a response in you, and that's fine, so long as it's short, and doesn't overshadow the other person. It's like I would hate to hear William Shatner try to interview somebody. We would never hear a damn thing the interviewee had to say. That's not what we're talking about tonight, though. Um, Chris says I can interview him. He's not interesting, but he's good for a test run. Yeah, we could we could talk about we could talk about your process for writing your book if you want. And David says the same thing. That's true. He could interview Ray. I wouldn't even know what to ask Ray. Russell says, let's ask Destiny who she would like to see interviewed. Actually, we probably don't need to ask. There's Mr. Canoehound. How are you doing tonight, Mister? I've been thinking about you lately. I saw a couple of posts showing up on the Book of Faces. Just wondering how you're doing. I hope you're having a good night. I hope you're not getting rained out. I've got some wicked rain happening outside right now. Russell got heavily rained and stormed on earlier tonight. Destiny says she shall compose the questions for the Ray. That would probably be the weirdest interview ever. So, what's it like having the world's best calves? I didn't write this question. You got to believe me, Scrolling. Everyone's saying hi to Dennis. David, Destiny's first question. Ray, what is the circumference of your right calf? I see we've gone to the same place, Dave. Zach says, "Oh, it's good. They've been coasting on releasing okay, good. They've been coasting on re-releasing Skyrim every couple of years. 76 and ESO purchases for far too long. They tried re-releasing Fallout 4, and everything is still broken in it. Yeah. So I bought the upgrade or the remaster for Fallout 4 and installed it, and I haven't touched the game since because it ruined my experience. Absolutely, nope, didn't like it. I think there's no way in hell they were surprised by the Fallout TV show, and they should have been working their butts off to get Fallout 5 out to capitalize on that. Not like remasters and I mean, okay, do remasters, but such a lost opportunity. And that's probably why Microsoft took their control away because it's like, what? Anyway. Yeah, okay. I was interested to know. Yeah, but that's it. Let the and by the way, Dennis is here, and he was good at that, right, Dennis? Like just ask the question and let the guest carry the show because that's who people want to hear. Oh, Destiny liked the interview style of Strombo in the big red chair. I have come to appreciate Strombo more than I ever did before. And I think that's because I really associated him with Much Music. And Much Music was a very irritatingly Toronto show rather than a Canadian show. And so, I mean, we could see Much Music in Montreal on our cable, whatever, but here we made Music Plus, which was the same format, but in Quebecois, in French. But Music Plus had that Quebec edge that Much just didn't, and it's weird because Strombo always did have an edge to him, but I never gave him the credit for that, and it took me a long time. It took TikTok for me to really realize how big a freaking brain that guy's got. Because I'd always sort of seen him as this, too cool for school dude on much, and I had stopped watching TV by the time he was doing his post Mudge Music stuff, really. And I mean, I didn't care about the hockey crap, right? Um, and so that, but like I was doom scrolling, and I saw him pop up on the Talk of Ticks, and he has this real cool way of like being able to deliver a monologue that doesn't need to be edited, right? Like there are no cuts, and every word is pure gold because he has an intellect like very few people on our screens do these days. And so it was only like after the fact I started sort of going back and seeing, like looking up some of his previous stuff on YouTube, and he's interviewed some very killer talent and some very, very important people. And he does his homework. He reads the book or whatever it is, you know. Um, and yeah, I kind of wish I had discovered him earlier. But yeah, having a Strombo on TikTok really um, balances the scale from all those dancing belly shirts that I've managed to train my algorithm not to show me. Canoe Hound's been a busy boy, tending to your parents' needs, but headed your way on Friday. Headed to Voyageur Provincial Park between Ottawa and Montreal. Nice. Nice. You're going to do some canoeing. That's cool. I like that. I hope you have a great trip. How long are you there for? I kind of feel that you're going to be there for a week, but are you going to be there for a week, or are you doing all that travel just for a weekend? Zach said the last title they dropped was Starfield, which they shelved Elder Scrolls and Fallout to make, which needed DLC to be playable. They had the show made, had no game to capitalize it from the get. Absolutely. And by the way, I'm saying that as someone who liked Starfield. I mean, I had to adjust my expectations in order to, okay, let's just take it on its own. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, I agree with you. Second rate question, says Peanut Trucker. Have you seen a big truck that might be looking for you? Whoa. Ray just had surgery last week on what? Did he have an accident or was it like a hernia or something? Calf reduction. Okay. I get it. All right. All right. Never mind. Whoa, Peanut Trucker's on TikTok now. You're on the American TikTok. The rest of us are still on the Chinese. Does that whiskey need to breathe? Well, if it's 3 years to 5 years. Paul and Scott, are you guys doing that whiskey with me tonight? I mean, I've still got some time, but because this was only cracked last night, I could let it. 21:44. I'll do it at 10 to 10. Patrick says 22 watching and 8 likes. Oh, guys, the Roadhammer will be dropped. Will be dropped. The Roadhammer hath spoken. If you like what I'm doing, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm doing, you can hit that thumbs down. You can hit that thumbs down. It just shows that you got some attention for me. Honeybee dropping in just for a few before sleep. All right, have yourself a good night, Mister. I hope you. I hope you are having a good night. I hope the weather isn't treating you too bad down there. Ooh, 1 week with a big group of family and friends. That sounds like a nightmare. But I do have social anxiety, so you may not have the same issue as I do. Everyone's saying hi, so I'm just gonna scroll on past all the highs. You are okay. Good, good. Whoa, Paul. Are you okay, Paul? You can talk to me. We can talk this through. No man left behind. Okay. You're not doing it? Are you doing a dry week? No. Yes. Are you doing a dry week? Because I sound like old Milwaukee, but no, that's Scott. Or are you just kind of like whiskeyed out after last night? No, you didn't have that much. We didn't drink that much last night. Did you give it up for Lent? Honeybee? Oh, crumbs, it just jumped. You having the Glenmorangie G14 again? Nice choice. I can pour it. I mean, it's not going to hurt it to pour it a little earlier. So I'm gonna pour it myself. A wee dram, just a wee dram. Ooh, thing is, pouring it like this, I can't see what I'm pouring. I can pour a little bit more than that. Oh, it's a little big, but it's not too bad. Excuse me. Boom. Paul's got an upset stomach. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Peanut Trucker says hi. I said hi to you. Wait. Oh, okay. I see 25 people watching and 11 likes now. I only see 21 people watching. I mean, it's still better than it was, but evidently I'm being too boring for some people. It hurts my feelings. My feelings are so damn hurt. I'm taking a sip of this here beer. That's a little rhyme for you. Country Boy says, whoops. Country Boy says, whiskey fixes everything. Well, not if you got an upset stomach. Oh, except heartburn. True. Zach says, about a full vintage Old Spice aftershave decanter with box on eBay. Can't wait to experience the joy. That was Schulten's original pre-1990 formula. I would love to know what that smells like. Not shots. I'm not doing shots. I can't do shots. I don't have any shot glasses in the basement. Good one, mister. Good man. Okay, so yeah, there's the color. Whoops. So if this is actually non-colored, oh, it's 10 to 10. Leave it alone. Then it's a beautiful color. Absolutely. And it does look like it's not colored. Because whiskeys with caramel color tend to have kind of a Macallan look to them, that's sort of a darker red. I'm not like a sherried red. Well, some of them do too. Paul says, thanks, Dr. Scott, for the medical advice. Dennis is out. Good night, Dennis. Everyone say good night to Dennis. Everybody. Say good night to Dennis. 10 minutes until whiskey time. Just did they ever taste the... Hold on. Jess, did they ever taste the Shackleton whiskey they found? Any notes? Any attempts at replication? So they did make a Shackleton whiskey. Briefly, I don't remember who did. Let me take a look for it. Was it a blended malt or a blended whiskey? And so I wanted to buy a bottle of it. It was not available. Maybe it is still available, but I think it was limited. Paul is going to correct me on this. And so what I had been given to understand was that what they did was took some of the whiskey that they found from the Shackleton expeditions and reverse engineered it. But apparently, no. It was just a whiskey that was The recipe was inspired by the original, so it's kind of like an homage rather than like a reverse engineer to get the exact same thing. Um, it disappeared before I could buy it because I totally would have bought it because you guys know me and the Explorers. I would have been very happy to have tasted it, especially because it was like a $50, 60. I don't know. It was under $100. Blended whiskey. Eh? Let me just look it up. Okay. AI overview. Right, I'll read it, but Shackleton Blended Malt Scotch Whiskey is a highly regarded, approachable Scotch created in honor. Why do you do that? Of the legendary Antarctic explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton. It features. No, shut up, Jesse. It features a rich, warming profile of honey, orchard fruits, dry oak, and a hint of background peat. A bottle, excuse me, shut up. A bottle typically retails for around $40 to $60 Canadian. The whiskey's recipe is directly inspired by the original McKinley's rare old Highland malt that Shackleton provisioned for his 1907 Nimrod expedition. A century later, in 2007, perfectly preserved crates of this whiskey were discovered frozen in the ice beneath his base camp. Master blender Richard Patterson. Richard Patterson. Okay. Painstakingly analyzed the defrosted bottles to deduce their composition, crafting this modern recreation using a fine selection of Highland single malts. And then for a detailed tasting breakdown and a look at the history trapped in the ice, link to a YouTube channel. Richard Patterson is a very big name in Scotch. He's the master blender, I believe, at Highland Park. No, the Dalmore, the one with the stag on the front. I'm glitching on it. It's not Highland Park. I think it's the Dalmore. Shit, where is he? Anyways, I tend to think he is very big on the public persona that his job has afforded him. He's very big on the theatricality. On YouTube, you can see him telling you how to taste whiskey, and it's just like, dude. 21:54, 6 minutes to whiskey time. Hold on. Yeah, it's a blend, all right. Yeah, that I definitely did know. Zach bought three boxed decanters of Avon Wild Country Aftershave too. My bushcraft gear obsession has transformed into a wet shaving obsession. Okay. I mean, I've been wet shaving for ages, so I understand it. Apparently, we're all going to Wang Chung tonight. Okay. We can do that. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. I know. But Nimrod didn't used to mean what it means now. Nimrod was the name of the ship he was on for that first expedition. Excuse me. Paul will take a shot of tequila. Maybe that'll help. It might. Let us know. All right. Good night, mister. Have a good sleep. Maybe a drink with some bitters in it. Bitters will help. Bitters will do it. Okay. Paul has neither of those. Yeah, I don't really tend to carry peppermint schnapps in my toolbox either. Four minutes to whiskey time. But yeah, like I wanted to buy one of those bottles because I'm so enchanted by the Explorers, you know, like his expeditions. Guys like Thompson, Yeah, you know, the guys who opened up the Canadian North. I just I had three other names to just sling at you guys, and I just glitched, and they're all gone. Stupid head. But you know, I love those stories, those guys, the things like I've told you guys. The OGs who've been listening to me forever have probably heard this too often. And it's like, shut up, Jesse. But like the guys who Ray Mears outlined in his Northern Wilderness series where he did the Canadian North. And he's talking about these guys and like the epic nature of that kind of life. It's just like people chose to explore the North at a time when the chances of you coming back from the North were kind of slim. And of course, right, JB Tyrell, you know, very cool story. He's the one that the Tyrell Museum in Alberta is named after, I believe. I wouldn't necessarily go to the mats for that, though. I'm also not sure if it's Tyrell or Tyrell, by the way. I've just heard it said as Tyrell, and so I've just said it that way, but I don't know if that's actually right. And I don't believe it says anywhere in the book. But anyway, yeah. Where was I? Where was I? So tequila it is, says Christy. Peanut Sugar, I think it's his favorite song. He always sings Everybody, making me get that song stuck in my head. Yeah, but except that the one I'm doing is the, what's it? Everybody. Yeah, yeah. Something rather. Whoa, I know these lyrics. Anyways, whatever. We're going to move right along because stop, right? Bought that LP used at a secondhand electronics store for more than a new repressing would cost. Yeah, well, that LPs cost a lot because suddenly turntables are cool again for some reason. Country Boy has added a drop of water to his whiskey. Oh, because it is 1 minute to whiskey time. Yeah, it really sort of changes the action on the nose and especially on the tongue. Chris is drinking water tonight. No Dr. Pepper. Russell says, I've had a Robert Palmer song stuck in my head. I bet you can't guess which one. Based on the videos, I think I probably don't. Well, it might be You're Addicted, you know, might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Or it could be oh no, how does that go? I just glitched. Stop glitching. The meds wear off at around 7:30, and then I'm back to being a basket case. I can see the video. I can see all the women dressed up in like white shirts and black skirts playing the instruments. Oh, and it just, I had it and it's gone. Anyway. You know it. You know it. Oh, Russell says, oh, crumbs. Where did it go? It's not one of those. Less or not. Oh, in that case, I might not know. I just said that 2 comments up. Says Christy unto Destiny. Oh, yes. 10 o'clock. Slangevant. Yep, it's caramel and butterscotch. That's your bourbon, American oak with a bourbon, like an ex-bourbon cask. And at the top, there's some spice happening because A, rye, B, virgin American oak as well, which is going to bring the spice because it hasn't been toned down by, by sitting there for 3 years or whatever with bourbon in it. Wheat brings a real sweetness of its own. Tones down the scratchiness of the rye. Very nice. Hold on. Doesn't have to make up to models. Oh, jeez, I don't know which one it is then. Cusack. Done. Clunk. Back to talking bollocks about booze. For a guy who starts his evening on the live streams by saying "All hail the ale," I believe you might just be being a funny Mister. Crumbs. Now there's a song in my head again. This view into Jesse's, into the workings of Jesse's mind, brought to you by whiskey. Johnny and Mary. Lesser known is right. Peanut Drug says, "Oh my God, Dr. Pepper, that's probably the worst chemical junk you could ever put in your body. I hate Dr. Pepper." Absolutely. It's simply irresistible. Did You Love is the song I'm thinking of. So I play this one for the audiences when I'm gigging. I've just missed 2 gigging weekends due to my surgery. Christy has not had a wheated whiskey yet in her existence. In her experience is what I was looking for. Existence? Come on, man. The hell does that mean? I'm looking to see if I have any ads showing on my... No, I'm good. So, like a wheater, or a wheated whiskey brings the sweet. Wheat is a much milder kind of... Like a whiskey that's 100% wheat is going to be very innocuous, sweet. Sometimes... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Please don't break the seal. Sometimes a little too cloying on the sweetness, but not often. I have 100% wheat whiskey upstairs, I believe. I thought you guys were gonna grab more onto my Yep, that happened. I thought you guys would grab more onto my podcast discussion. I know. How many of you guys like to listen to I feel that it really sort of breaks down. Like, some people love a podcast, and some people just, why am I listening to the talk radio? I listen to podcasts almost exclusively while driving. While I'm doing the dishes or whatever, I have YouTube's on because I'm treating it kind of as an ersatz body doubling. And also because I can't have my headphones on in case something happens to one of the kids and I can't hear it because of my noise canceling headphones, blah, blah, blah. So, like, Clem has the TV on in the living room, and I'm trying to be present in the house. So I don't really listen to my podcast or if I'm like in the basement cleaning or something, I might have my headphones on or just playing the podcast on the computer speakers or something. But like, how many of you guys listen to podcasts and like have an actual opinion about them? Zach doesn't really drink all that much. A 6-pack of beer lasts you a month, and a handle of spirits lasts me 5 years. It's a social thing for an asocial person. What the hell's a handle? Oh, I know what a handle is. That's those bottles with the handle in them, right? Yeah, well, a handle would last me a bloody long time too. I just wish I had the time and the wherewithal to put the time in. I would even I did a tree ID episode on my YouTube channel a bunch of years ago. I was in the Okanagan and I did it about the ponderosa pine. In my wildest dreams, I would like to turn that into an infrequent series. Do ponderosa pine that time. This time I would do like a black spruce if I was camping up in the Boreal or something, or a blue spruce around here, or a stupid maple or something. Like I would love to do a tree ID series like that, or something like that. How many of you guys have seen that episode, the ponderosa pine episode I did from the Okanagan? To listen to the Decibel podcast. Let me take a look for it. I'll tell you if I don't have it as one of my subscribed podcasts, but like whenever the band and I are driving somewhere, whether it's the fiddler and I driving back from a gig here, or like the three of us out in the mountains between gigs or something, podcasts are a big thing for all three of us. Decibel. The Decibel. Oh, the one by the Globe and Mail? I haven't actually listened to it. So I'm going to add it. And I'll let you know after this week. I like a podcast if it's someone I find interesting. Well, yeah. Although I've been surprised on numerous occasions about starting a podcast. Excuse me. About someone. Sorry, guys. I've never heard of before, and end up being like, wow. Country Boy's trying to imagine a bushcraft podcast. Probably a lot of talk of previous bushcraft experiences. Sometimes like the one that Caleb Musgrave used to do, the Canadian bushcraft podcast. Like, okay, let's thought experiment this. Okay, let's say I'm starting my podcast. I'm not. No time. But let's pretend that I'm putting together my pilot and the pitch. Okay. Here's what I do. No, not a 2-hour episode. That's the thing. Caleb Musgrave's podcasts were always like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. An hour long. Okay. I feel that like a half hour is not a serious effort. But any more than an hour, like really, can we like not? So if each episode is an hour, I would have segments of. Not every episode would have the exact same thing. Okay. One of them might be, one segment would be like you're saying, reminiscence of trips I've been on. Usually if there's something in a trip that I want to talk about, it's like, oh yeah, this happened. Learning experience. What I took away from it was always wear a personal flotation device. I don't know what. I would love for the first 10 minutes to be like, what's happened in the world of bushcraft this week? But it's really tough to put something like that together. Like UOGs will remember I used to try to do that on this live stream as well. But some weeks, like what happened in bushcraft this week was some like, this retailer has 3 brand new knives from Hella or something, right? So like I was really scraping the bottom of the barrel some weeks, which is why I discontinued that. But it would be nice to have some sort of news at the start 5-10 minutes, probably more like 5. And then have a segment on a skill. Maybe one episode it would be how to develop your topic. Okay, develop your bow drill technique. 3 easy homemade Tinder options. Bushcraft lunches that don't weigh down your backpack. Best fire lays for this context versus that context, right? And then for like sort of the meat of the episode, it would be either maybe I would tell a story about a trip, or discuss a philosophy, or maybe once every 4 or 5 episodes have an interview with a bushcrafter or camper, wild camper. Like that's what I see. Russell has Russell has learned recently that a lot of podcasts are highly produced. I thought they just sat around a table yakking at each other. Not anymore. They did at one point, but now a lot of them are very highly produced. Yeah, and I would love to be a highly produced podcast. Does not make sense. I would love to start a podcast that would be highly produced because it would. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I started this live stream really tired, right? Because I would love to have the support of having at least a producer involved, so that because I do get like overstimulated, which means I have to shut down. I have an advert playing. It's about women's skirts, so I'm just gonna skip that. Boom, gone. Where was I? It's gone. I have no idea what I was saying. I have no idea what I was saying. It is absolutely gone. What was I talking about? Well, I'm just gonna move on. It's disappointing because I was being intelligent. I was being erudite. I was being interesting. I mean, I was really putting it out there. I was shockingly good just there. And then I glitched. I was fabulous. That's what I was. I was fabulous. Fabulous. Yes, Destiny says podcast while driving long distances attracted to the unique content. Also, the voice has to be a radio voice. You know what's one podcast that I love, but I almost never listen to is Hardcore History by Dan. Dan someone's Hardcore History. God, what's with the glitching tonight? Dan, is Dan Snow's history hit? Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Uh-oh. He hasn't put... His last episode was 22nd of December, 2025. But so here's the thing. That episode was 4 hours and 14 minutes. The episode before that... Wow. Okay, so the thing with Dan Carlin is his episodes are like average about 5 or 6 hours, right? It takes months for him to put out an episode. But in the interregnum, he researches, writes, and creates a hell of a podcast. And they're long. So the last 3 episodes that I have here were Mania for Subjugation. Okay, so that's about I think it was Alexander the Great. Episode 2 was the 3rd of January 2025, which was 3 hours 51 minutes long. But then Mania for Subjugation 3, the following one, was 22nd of December 2025. So that was like practically a year. But it was 4.25 hours. Mania for Subjugation episode 1 was the 7th of June 2024. But how long was it? How long? Hold on. No. 4 hours and 11 minutes. Right. So months and months between. But if you're driving to Toronto, do yourself a favor. You know what I'm saying? And what I love about him is he's not a historian. He's a journalist, but very much sees himself as a student of history, as an interest rather than as an academic pursuit. And so when he's talking about these things, he's got the kind of enthusiasm that a lover of history has, but that a scholar of history has learned to tone down. And I will almost listen to someone who loves a subject more than I would listen to someone who really, really knows it. Not quite. I mean, I want to know the knowledge, right? That's the thing. I love the knowledge, but I want to listen to somebody who when he's talking about this subject, he or she is animated because they live this stuff, they breathe this stuff. They haven't had their love for it beaten out of them by academia yet, you know. But yeah, so Dan Carlin's Hardcore History is a long drive podcast, not just a drive home from work. I mean, you could make it last over a week, I guess. Peter Tucker likes Mike Rowe's podcast. I've heard that name, but I don't know what that would be. Christy watches 2 channels on YouTube that are podcast types. Annie Elise and Christina Randall. I have them on when I work. I don't know either of those people. David says the audiobooks are really good when driving long distances. I listen to audiobooks when I'm going to and from work if I don't have a podcast going. Chris has Destiny. Are you driving long distance to Florida this winter with David and Pat? Country Boy listens to podcasts about crime and music. Alan Cross does some cool stuff. I do not know of these podcasters. Let me get rid of Dan Carlin for a second here. Alan Cross. Let's see. Ongoing history of new music. Uncharted, crime and mayhem in the music industry. Beyond the music, Alan Cross. Okay. I'm just going to check that one out. I'm going to add that. Oh, his podcast is also dormant. Oh, it's okay. I'll just listen to the back episodes. The write-up on Alan Cross about how he sort of goes behind the songs reminds me a bit of Song Exploder, where the artist, they invite the artist on to talk about their process of writing a given song. But like Russell says, when I forget to bring an audiobook on a drive with me, I try to drive real close to another car who's listening to an audiobook and try to get them to roll down their window. I'm sure you do. Actually, I kind of wouldn't put that past you. But like, so here's the thing. I'm moved by 2 seemingly contradictory forces, right? One is my desire to see more bushcraft content. So I would love to do a bushcraft live stream, sort of out there in the world, that you can access through ways other than YouTube. But I find the digital life so exhausting. Like, I yearn for an analog life. I yearn to be writing everything in my journals and my planners rather than iCal or whatever calendar app. And I mean, every cell phone has a journaling app on it now, right? I yearn to have an hour every night to just write out my thoughts with an actual pen on paper. That's why I buy an expensive pen and expensive paper, because if it gives me the fizz, I know I will use it. And yet you cannot deny that an audiobook is a great way to fill the air on a long drive home from work. And a podcast is the same. And I feel that the bushcraft podcasting space has room has room. Yeah. But I really don't know what I would want to do is go into that with the first 10 episodes with at least a planned subject matter, right? Because the last thing I ever want to be, the last start again, the last position I ever want to be in is finishing an episode and saying, what are we doing for next episode? Right? You want to have 5 or 6 episodes out planned, at least in as far as you know what the subject is going to be. And you've researched to know that the subject will work. Jeez, that's good. Christy says, Annie Elise is about crime. Yeah, I don't listen to crime podcasts. There's a reason that I ain't going into here, but I do not listen to crime broadcasts. Peanut Sugar says that David Evans is right. You listen to your books. To his books, that's how he finds all the mistakes. Zach still has a bottle of E.H. Taylor from before the BS liquor, U.S. liquor boycott. I finished my bottle of E.H. Taylor. And I may never buy another bottle of bourbon again, whether it comes back on the shelves or not. Unopened. You should open it at some point. I don't think it deserves the unicorn status it has, but it's a pretty freaking good bourbon. Russell, stop using the middle finger to get the other car's attention. Oh, we have 21 people watching. We had 25 before, but I guess some people thought I was being boring. Why you gotta judge? Why you gotta be hurtful? Why you gotta be like that? Was I at 6 already? Oh no, you've said it. Oh no. Sorry. It's Chris's fault. Oh, you're going to be in Florida in January there, David. Okay. You booked a cruise out to Fort Lauderdale, eh? Where's that going? Probably to the Caribbean. Destiny will be right back. What time are we at? 21, 22, 26. Okay. There's still a little bit of time to go. Princess. Line sailing to the Panama Canal. I'm just sort of scrolling back. Hey, there's Steve. How are you doing tonight? How you doing, mister? I hope that everything is going well for you. I hope that you, unlike me, unlike I, are having no trouble staying awake. Christy says, podcast and having a producer. Yeah. Who was Christy answering with podcasts and having a producer? Everyone's just saying hi to Steve, so I'm just going to skip on past. Zach says, at least I don't get the Gamma ads you used to get, telling you to find their disguised logo in the obviously artificially generated ad because they'll get flagged by the censors. Really? I don't know. I don't remember that at all. Zach likes audiobooks for long solo drives. Need music when I'm not the only one in the car. Fair. When I have Clem in the car, the requests run from Dinosaur by Akmu or Actong Musician to to Taylor Swift. But there's a couple of things, the names of which are suddenly escaping me. I'm so tired of that happening. Like I can see our last drive in my head. And like I have this impression of the sound of the songs, but the songs themselves, poof, gone. Just gone. Oh, I can tell you. Actually. She likes to hear. You guys aren't picking up. Asli Anna by Zain. That's in Arabic. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Mary Celeste and Michael. So that's a singer who's a soprano and her dad who's like a contrabass. I don't know, whatever the bass is, who goes like super low. She finds his voice hilarious. She likes No Children by the Mountain Goats. She likes Afraid of Quiet by Lydia the Bard. Soldier Poet King by the Oh Hellos. She loves. I do not want to get flagged. She loves Hunter by oh no, it's gone. By Paris Paloma, which is weird because that song starts with the lyric, "If you were easy to kill, I would have done it already." But like she seems to really like the dark stuff. Child of the Government by J. Lee Wolf, she loves. Pineapple Kryptonite by Atarashi Gakko. It's got 1,000,000 back episodes. Good to know. Good to know, mister. Zach says, I hate that I've lost the skill to be able to make extensive plans on paper, write more than a paragraph without my hand cramping. So yeah, me too. I have degenerative arthritis in both of these. So for me, writing is quite painful. So over the month when I was off, I started to learn the Palmer method because I decided I needed to learn a cursive because my handwriting is garbage. It's absolute shite and it's embarrassing. Palmer method is because you write from the shoulder, not from the wrist. Like you move your arm, like you hold the pen very lightly, and you move the whole arm rather than writing with the wrist. Oh, thank you, Christy. Yeah, like I would like to not be the only one working on it. And I know that if you add someone, you up the amount of money you have to make from it. But I would need somebody to help keep me going, especially at a time like right now where I'm so burnt out of on the video production stuff, which is why I have a hiking video from January started in Final Cut Pro, and I just need to finish it. I just need to do it and then put it up. And the idea of video editing makes me sad, right? Because I'm still so burnt out. I'm climbing out in small ways, but it's just like, ugh. So it would be nice to have someone to work with on A, to make sure I do the work, but B, also just to bounce ideas back and forth. We're at 22:32. But like for my YouTube channel, I told you guys I would kill for an editor. Absolutely. And I mean, one of you gave me a suggestion, which I have open in a window somewhere. I think it was Russell gave me this, but it's open in a window somewhere. But I was afraid to ping them for fear of starting a conversation that they would expect me to sign a contract at the end of. And I have no idea what I can afford right now. Country Boy said, "Wow, who'd have thunk a child of yours had a taste for the dark stuff?" That is fair, actually. I'm looking for. She seems to like songs sung by women, a little less tolerant of songs sung by men. Dinosaur by Akmu is both. So Akmu, it's Akdong Musician. It's a Korean um, two-piece, whatever. I mean, they have other musicians as like hired guns and stuff, but it's a brother sister team, and she's okay with that because it's a brother sister team, and she can sing with the sister's part. And I'm impressed to say she's actually in tune and on key, which is nice. Zach says, my young brother requested Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory in the car. The kid has taste. How young is your brother? So Clem is 7.5 years old. Tea's a good drink. It's good for what ails you. I am shocked that I'm still awake because I left work exhausted. That was before picking Clem up at day camp, stopping at the store to pick up tortillas, getting home, doing a crap ton of dishes, making tacos, brushing teeth, getting her to bed, stumbling down here like the world is ending, and just getting on time, just getting online on time, you know? Country Boy says, I wasn't criticizing. Listen to the lyrics of my daughter's music. Jeebus. Yeah, I will. In fact, I want to show Camille those, as I told you, sort of to inspire her to take up the bass again. I mean, she's not into punk the way. The hell are you doing up, child?
I've been waiting too long to finish my drink.
You've been waiting too long to finish.
More simple syrup.
Yes, I do. It's slightly brown though because I used Demerara sugar. It's in the other fridge on the door. Yeah, I think so.
Next to the TV?
In a bottle with a cork in it, yeah. He'll be 13 this year. Okay, so Cody is 14. Clem is 8.5. She's not. That's an absolute lie. She's 7.5. Numbers. But yeah, she seems to like these really dark numbers, these really dark songs. What were you looking for?
Nothing. I have it. You can close the door.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no school. And she doesn't have work tomorrow, so can't really say much. Speak of her and she appears. Yeah, that was weird, right? I almost imagine like appearing out of the darkness. Why have you woken me from my eternal sleep? Anyway, 22:37. Okay, we still got some time. We still got time. We got 20 people watching. I think what I got to do is win like 30 mil, so that I can do the stuff that I keep talking about. The little hobby distillery, the podcast, the bleeding. Where the hell am I bleeding from? What the hell? If I ignore it, do you think it'll go away? Where the hell am I bleeding from? Oh, where did that come from? Oh, God damn it. Tell us you have ADHD without telling us you have ADHD. The unexplained bobos are very much a part of my life. Anyway, who cares? Moving right along. Country Boy is being a brat, and he's probably going to disappear on us because he did it, and he lives like 4,500 kilometers from me. So, good luck with that, buddy. For thousands of years I lay dormant. Yeah, I knew Zach could be trusted to meet me halfway on this. Russell says, no, click. Oh my snap. Russell says, no, Jess, 30 million is not the answer. You need at least 50 to do it right. 100 to be on the safe side. Yeah, okay. I mean, if we're just throwing zeros around, I'll take it. But 30 mil is a nice minimum number, right? I don't think I could do it for less. Isn't it funny how often? Oh my land, there's still beer in here. Isn't it funny how often people's thought experiments start? Experiments, I said, but that's not a real word. Experiments start with if I was leisure class, because that's what it is, right? You win 30 million and you are leisure class, period. People don't tend to use that term anymore, but there's a certain magic to it. You know what I'm saying? Like how many of us start these dreams with, I have fuck off money. It's like nobody's dreams are small enough to be done on a standard corporate income. I mean, look, if you dream big, right? If you dream big, absolutely. But it is funny how everyone's dreams start with big honking piles of cash. Not everyone's. I mean, everyone I know, yes, but I don't want to I don't know everyone in the world. If I did, that would be a nightmare. Because that would be social stuff, and I'm terrified of it. Oh, Christy's asking Russell what he's drinking tonight. I believe Russell is not drinking these days. But in this fictitious world where I win 30 mil or something, the second thing I do is hire a YouTube editor so I can get back to, I can overcome what I have identified as the big stumbling block in getting me over the burnout and back into producing work. He was drinking pee. Not surprising. Oh, he meant tea. Not surprising. Moving right along. And I like to think I would enjoy research, right? Like any podcast I would start because I've got all this time because I've got 30 million in the bank. It means I would have the time to start a podcast, and I would want to. I I would want to take the time to make sure that everything I say in a given podcast is backed up, that I've done the research to back that statement up. You know, if I say that, books burn at 451 degrees Fahrenheit, I want to know that that's an actual truth rather than just something I read somewhere. Oh, Shawnee, how you doing? Wait, just stop. I just want to check this and then I'll get back to you. Countrywide doesn't need or want piles of cash. You'll be dead shortly after if I had off money. My dreams are simple and relatively inexpensive. Peace, quiet, and solitude, and lots of dogs. That sounds amazing. Shawnee says, jumping into the conversation, looks like we're dreaming about a new life. No, we're just sort of thought experimenting here. I was saying how welcome to the live stream, by the way. I was just saying about how it's interesting that so many people's dreams in these thought experiments start with I'm independently wealthy. I'm leisure class. I win the lottery, so I don't have to worry about paying the mortgage kind of thing. And that very few people dream about something that is achievable with just a straight up not mortgage. What's the word? A salary. Mine too. I'm not I'm not commenting on other people here. Mine too. Peace and quiet is a big part of my dream life. That's partly because I get overstimulated so fast. Start scooping down. Okay, Russell's being hilarious again. I'll just skip that. I'm gonna take a sip of tea. People saying hi to Shawnee. I mean, we're at a quarter to the end here, so I do not know what that child is doing. I know what she's doing. She's eating Chinese. She's eating leftover Chinese at freaking a quarter to 11. Oh, well, whatever. So he says, see, there it is. Russell said it. Oh, he said things. There's the thing, Zach. She is keen. She is keen. I just have to find the time. I mean, she's on summertime schedule, right? So she's got friends over until like 8 every night, and then I'm trying to get her sister to bed, and then we're out of time. But yeah, I think she would be willing to do my rough cut for me. I would still want to do my final. Like even if I could hire someone, like an editor, I would still want to do like a last pass. I would deliberately shit, hold on. I would deliberately step away to let them flex. right? I would shoot my stuff, like my footage, and then I would deliberately let them play. And then I would just come through and do like a final look, tighten up a few things, maybe mask this, and then just let it go out. Because it would be part of a larger effort to not micromanage my channel. Ding. Because here's the thing. I'm the only one working on my channel, right? So it's my vision from stem to stern. As soon as you bring an editor on, there's another vision happening. Whether or not you give them very granular instructions, what I would do is say, here's my footage. It's shot in order. You can swap pieces, clips, if it strengthens the storytelling element. But it's shot in order, so don't stress it. Play. I recorded this clip of me walking from the ankle, from like the calves down, so that you can mask the channel title as a step happens, right? Step, as the step leaves, the channel title is there. I did that in one of my videos from the Okanagan, and that's my instructions. It's in order. Swap a couple of things around if you think it'll make the narrative better, but make sure it's not jarring, and mask in the channel title and the date. Have fun. And then I would just come through and maybe tighten a few things up, and maybe not do anything. Maybe you'd be like, wow, this is so nice, right? Which would be my preference, let me tell you. Hold on a second. Shoya says the weather was cool and pleasant with wind today after yesterday's wind and rainstorms flattened your popcorn. So I planted my new shrubs. We're having storms and stuff and wicked wind today. Christy says unto Zach, I told him that too. What did Zach said? You could always teach your yes, and Christy did say that, and Camille has said, yeah, I'll do it. I just need the time to sit with her and show her the ropes and teach her how to use my app. Time. Stop it. Chris is out. Good night, Chris. Sleep well. 10 minutes to close. 11 minutes to closing. Everyone's saying good night to the hero, to the road hammer. Oh, my land. There's Jim on his lunch break. How you doing tonight, Jim? What are you having for lunch? Zach says, started to make myself supper once at 11, and the power went out for 2.5 hours, 3 minutes in. Yeah, that's the universe telling you to just eat a bag of fucking chips. Oop. Sorry. Country boy asking the same thing as I did. What's for lunch? Jim saying hi to everybody. You ate lunch early at 7:30 p.m. Just going over some paperwork and listening. Well, I'm glad to hear you're listening. It's nice to know that you're hanging with us. Says that lunch was his for Lance 6. There it is. Lunch was my normal spinach, salad, yogurt, and 2 apples. Sounds pretty good, actually. There we go. Okay. 10 minutes to the end. 10 minutes to the end. This is the end. My only friend, the end. I need to have a sip of tea so that I can say tea's a good drink. I'm going to percolate more on this bushcraft podcast idea. Though I do feel that a larger outdoors Oh no. Stop with the yawning, okay? Okay? Like larger outdoors doesn't really go that far past bushcraft because bushcraft includes a whole lot of crap. But like paddling, wild camping, I feel that the distinction between camping and bushcraft happens at the fire pit. A camper will use a match and maybe some of that zip stuff or like that squeeze crap that shows that you don't know how to respect fire. Whereas a bushcrafter will get down on his knees with a piece of char cloth or some like very dry tinder and be like, ah, and bring a fire into being that way, right? Because bushcraft is all about primitive skills, whereas camping is about sleeping in a tent. I always saw camping as experiencing being in the woods or the campsite and like hiking in the woods or whatever. Whereas some people, like my madame to a certain extent, sees camping as having a base camp, which is a tent, and using that as a jumping off point for we're going to go whale watching today. We're going to go to the museum in the nearest town this day. We're going to, now I ain't going to say let's not go whale watching, but I do love to just sit there and watch a fire for the day and just like do my thinking, do the thinking that I do not have time to do for most of my year. Excuse me. Country Boy says unto Jim that sounds healthy. I'm not sure if I like that. Munching on a handful of peanuts. Peanuts are protein, at least. Zoc says back in the Google Music days, that Doors song was exclusive to the whole album. Couldn't buy the song exclusive. That is weird. Okay, good to know. Sounds like a crap way to run your business, which is probably why you're saying back in the Google Music days, right? Six minutes from the end, my friend. Jim says that peanuts sound good too. You're snacking on a peanut granola bar with your paperwork. I do like a peanut. I like a peanut brittle. I love a peanut butter. I love a Reese's peanut butter cup. Excuse me. I'm so tired of the yawning, Holmes. Zach says that Flint and Steel website I mentioned on Canada Day was actually flintandsteel.com. Website's still up. Just hang on a second here. Dash. Dot. flintandsteel.com. Ooh, fire kits. Just steel strikers and fire steels and steel strikers. No. Wait, let me click on that. No. Flint rock and charcloth and handmade knives. Wait. Fire steels and steel strikers. They have made exactly an error that many people make, I think. Let me check this out though. On this page, you can buy a high-quality handmade fire steel arranged for free international delivery to any location worldwide. A piece of flint is included with... Okay, so yes, a piece of flint. So that is a fire steel. Making a fire with flint and steel. Steel striker consists of a forged metal plate. Okay. No, okay, so why do they say fire steels and steel strikers then? Yeah, these are all the right thing. These are actual. These are not ferro rods. These are tempting. Moving right along. Step away from the website, Jess. Jim had 2 ads. Jim needs a charcuterie board for a snack. I do like a good charcuterie board. I will tell you that. Yeah. Jim had 2 ads. Jesse is probably having 2 ads. Hold on, let me just check. You know what I would love to know? How many of y'all who are members are getting ads? Because if members are getting ads, I have a problem with that because because you guys send me money. So the fact that YouTube is making you watch ads really bugs me. Zach says probably lost in translation. Russian site, I think. Okay. Okay, so Country Boy says he's a member and no ads ever. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping. That's what I wanted to see. For sure. You're not like YouTube Pro or Premium or whatever it's called, right? The beer she has finished. Shite, but bluegrass. But Mark gets them. Freaking YouTube. YouTube is a lot like the weird uncle you don't want your kids to sit with. Does that make sense? Strangely, it kind of does, actually. In terms of like weirdness, right? 2 minutes to showtime. What? No, 2 minutes to curtain time. 2 minutes to what? Two minutes left. Excuse me. And Country Boy is no premium. Yeah, okay. It's interesting to me. Something I meant to sort of get around to when we were talking about this is sparked by Zach's comment about these fire seals. It's enchanting to me that at one point, not that long ago, flint and steel was not a bushcraft skill. It was how men lit their pipes and how people lit candles. Right? Like, I mean, matches are old. Pipes are older. And maybe cigars are older. I don't know, but I'm thinking about pipes. And I see that the same way as I see the straight razor, right? That was just a razor at one point. And even the village idiot could use a straight razor, right? Like, yes, there's a learning curve. It takes about 150 shaves to not slice yourself while using a straight razor, but it's not like villages started losing their idiots, right? I mean, even the village idiot could shave with a straight razor. And at one point, anyone could use a flint and steel. And so when people see that as like a weird skill that guy over there does, it's like, yeah, but your grandfather or your great grandfather or whatevs just did this as a matter of course. Why did it have to become like a unique among your friends kind of woods skill? I mean, we know why, because of technology, right? Matches and then lighters, for sure. But I just feel it enchanting, the idea of living in a world where your baseline is a flint and steel and probably a char cloth. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. I don't know when to shut up, people. Oh no, poor Jim's not getting his work done. Sorry, buddy. Zach can get a lot done in 2 minutes. It is now 23:01. So let me scroll to the bottom, make sure I'm not missing anyone. Work pays the bills. True. That's why we do it. Villagers are gaining idiots by the second. Fair enough. But yes. Okay. So it is after 11. So I'm going to shut her down. I'm thrilled that 13 of you stuck it out to the very bitter end. I'm never sure when I'm being interesting and when I'm being freaking boring. So thanks for hanging out. Between now and next Tuesday, everybody, please be safe, be sane, be healthy. I keep messing this up, whatever. And be kind to one another. Okay? Okay.